I'm turning the floor to Mr. Chris Jorgensen. Chris, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Aidana, and welcome everyone. As Aidana mentioned, my name is Chris Jorgensen. I'm Senior Director of Institutional Partnerships at BARBRI Global. I'm a dual qualified lawyer in the United States and in England and Wales. And my background in practice is in litigation. I was a trial lawyer in the United States for about 9 years before I moved to England and Wales. And since 2017, I've been working in the legal education technology space with BARBRI. You're going to hear a bit more of the detail around what it is our company offers from my colleague Monique. And really, in sort of a summary fashion, what that is we offer preparation courses to help you to qualify as a lawyer in the United States or as a solicitor in England and Wales. Now, I appreciate most of you on the call are already in practice in your home jurisdiction, and you might be looking to attend today's call to learn a little bit more about how to become a dual qualified lawyer, how to make your career a bit more international focused, and maybe looking for some reasons as to why that would be important for a young lawyer. And that's the part that I'm going to talk about for maybe just 5 or 10 minutes. Then I'll hand the floor over to my colleague Monique, who will get really into the kind of the nuts and bolts of how you do this. So BARBRI is a global company, and we've been doing this for over 50 years. We have over 1.3 million alumni that have either qualified in England and Wales or the United States. And we service about 1,200 to maybe 1,400 foreign lawyers. That's lawyers from international markets that are looking to qualify into England and Wales or the United States as a foreign jurisdiction. So these are the people like yourselves that are looking to dual qualify. And the reasons that our students come to us from busy practices already in their home jurisdiction are that they're wanting to gain that second qualification to really increase their employability. They want to make themselves relevant on an international scale. And so what happens is they become aware that the practice of law is going beyond border. And this is something that we see as a company. The increase in cross-border transactions is really on the rise. And it's not only in areas of law like international finance or capital markets or international arbitration. We're seeing it in day-to-day business as well. And really today's call is a good example of that. You have an American and a British person speaking to you today from London, to all of you in Nur Sultan, and it's really testament that really the world is becoming more and more connected. And of course, the practice of law is following suit with that as well. So our candidates are looking to distinguish themselves from other lawyers by having that dual qualification. They recognize that by learning how the law is organized in another legal framework makes them better lawyers, and it also makes them more relevant to their firm. They can work in certain areas of law that maybe they wouldn't be able to otherwise. And I think firms are always looking to make them to distinguish their offering to their clients. And certainly having dual qualified lawyers is a way to do that. In terms of the common law relevance, now I recognize that most of you sitting on this call today were trained perhaps in civil law or maybe in Sharia law, and you might be looking to qualify in England and Wales or the United States so that you can gain a common law qualification. And that is always something that is very much of interest to our candidates coming from Central Asia or Southeast Asia or other parts of Asia as well. They recognize that being qualified in both civil law and common law qualification can really make them relevant internationally. I think that's even more true when we're talking about international finance centers, free trade zones like the AIFC, where we see a lot of investment and a lot of interest from Western companies wanting to do business in Central Asia, but wanting to have some familiarity with common law principles and a system of law that is based upon common law. So you're right to be thinking in terms of gaining common law qualification while you will be servicing clients in Central Asia. Now we know that these cross-border transactions that really tend to govern business globally, 60% of those tend to be based upon either English or New York law. So these contracts that are governing these big international deals will have a choice of law provision either based in English and Welsh law or in New York law. So having that understanding and that qualification can make you that much more relevant and sort of sought after when working with clients that are doing these kinds of deals. Another study had recently pointed out that as for Asian cross-border transactions, up to 48% of those contracts tend to be governed by English and Welsh law, by UK law. So again, that qualification as a solicitor might be very relevant for these contracts that are coming around in Asian business. We also know that 50% of the world's legal systems are based upon either US or UK legal systems. So it tends to be the foundation for how legal systems build themselves when they want to model a common law example. And also interestingly, I was looking recently at gross domestic product across the world, and I was able to see that 40% of the world's GDP are coming from countries that are based on legal systems, either based on US or English and Welsh legal systems. So what I'm trying to point out with these statistics is that as a practitioner wanting to work in an international level, it makes a lot of sense to have a common law understanding, but more importantly, it makes a lot of sense to have a qualification and an understanding either in New York law or in English and Welsh law, because these are the legal systems that govern international business and that govern the international contracts that you and your firms are looking to be a part of. Now, as a dual qualified lawyer, I also have some international or some individual experience that probably is worth sharing with you. And when I'm talking about my individual experience, I'm not talking so much about the relevance in the practice of law, but I'm talking about what the effect of seeking dual qualification has had on me as a lawyer individually. So what I have found that as you start to study the practice and the governance of law in a jurisdiction other than your own, you learn about the law in a different way, and it makes you a better lawyer. So for those of us that are qualified in, let's say we are a Russian trained lawyer, we understand that there is this particular way to govern society, and that there's this particular way of making rules of law, and that this is one way to do things. But as we then move into learning and becoming qualified in England and Wales, for instance, we then suddenly get a second set of tools to bring to our service as a lawyer or as a solicitor, because each jurisdiction, while there's always overlap between the different legal structures, there's also unique ways within them. And so having an understanding of these different ways of doing law will make us a more rounded and a better lawyer, whether or not we end up practicing in that foreign jurisdiction or not. We just have a wider understanding of the law as a living and breathing thing. And I find that to be a very important point to raise with all of you. whether or not you come to England, Wales, or New York and actually practice within those jurisdictions, having an understanding of those legal systems will make you a better lawyer in Kazakhstan or wherever it is that you happen to be practicing law. There are a number of reasons to pursue dual qualification. We've pointed out just a few of them today. I'm sure that each of you on the call have your own reasons of why you might be looking to seek a second qualification as a busy professional already. But I did want to just start today's call with a few of the insights that we have as a company that show us that dual qualification makes a lot of sense. And I think it's really important that where you are positioned in the world, you have a great opportunity to see some of this international work that's coming, and certainly having a common law qualification on top of your current qualification makes you really unique in your legal society, and we support you 100% as you move to gain those second qualifications. So that's enough from me. I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Monique Morrison. She is our International Development Manager, and she's going to take you through the various programs that we offer and how we can help you move forward in your career. Thank you very much. Monique?
Thank you, Chris. Awesome insight. I found that really quite informative. So I'm hoping everyone is, cogs are turning, everybody's thinking about the next step right now, but it definitely sounds as if seeking a dual qualification or becoming an international lawyer and being able to practice across the globe is a lot more of an opportunity today than it's ever been. All right, anyway, I welcome you all and I thank you all for joining us today. As Chris has kindly mentioned, my name is Monique Morrison and I'm the International Development Manager for BARBRI Global. I work in partnership with Chris in institutional partnerships, and we work directly with the Bureau for Professional Development, also known as AIFC, and I'm welcoming you all to this webinar today. Now, it's a very interactive session that we're going to be offering, and so I'd like to invite all of you to get involved. Please do pop your questions into the chat box. You can always ask anything about the route to practice across the US or in the UK. If there is any aspect that you're not quite sure about, you can always ask, and I'll be happy to explain myself a little bit, in more detail for you. But as I mentioned, we both work, Chris and I, we both work within the institutional partnerships team for BARBRI Global. And as Chris has kindly mentioned, we are a part of 1.3 million alumni across the globe who have all studied with us, be it in the US or the UK. Now, all of our candidates are seeking either an individual or a dual qualification in the US as an attorney at law in New York, maybe, or even in California. And many others are interested in England and Wales as well. And so the experience that we've accrued, over the last 50 years and more has allowed us to amount quite a number of alumni, and they include presidents, judges, senior law firms, are all working alongside us to ensure that their trainees are trained in the right way and able to deliver exactly what it is that they're looking for. So BARBRI Global, we offer two portfolios. We offer the extended US Bar Prep program, and that's for qualification in California or New York or another uniform bar exam state. And we also offer the solicitor's qualification exam, and that's for qualification in England and Wales. Now, as a first port of call, we're going to look at the BARBRI Extended US Bar Prep program. And as I mentioned, this is the route for all who are interested in becoming attorneys at law in New York or California or many of the other states, all right? And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But when it comes to the US Bar Prep program that BARBRI offers, it's known as the Extended US Bar Prep. and it allows maximum flexibility across the globe. Now, students who are international law graduates or are international lawyers, these courses are designed primarily for you. And we have these durations available that allow you to extend your time and ensure that you've got flexible access whenever you want. So you could study for 6 months or you could study for 10 months. You've got those as options available. Now, all candidates that study alongside us, they receive access to a one-to-one personal mentor, and that mentorship is offered by a US attorney. Now, personal coaching is available to you throughout your course. So you can always communicate and ensure that you're up to par with exactly what it is that you need to do to ensure your success. Now, you also learn from the top US professors as well across our law faculty. And between the mentors and the professors, this allows a lot of students to gain access to the culture across the US so they can immerse themselves just a little bit more and engage with what it is that they are seeking to become. And I think that's a really good opportunity for all students. Now, as they access their program, they do this via ISAC. And ultimately, this is the engine that underpins the whole program. It allows all students to gain access to their course materials, their lectures, everything they need to become successful and go ahead and complete that exam. Now, ISAC is very intuitive. It is based on science. And as such, it allows students to create for themselves a personal study plan. That's what it's known as. And it indicates to you all areas of the program that you really need to focus on. It indicates where you are doing well. It indicates where you require, just that little bit more attention, and it guides you throughout the program. The students also receive hard copy textbooks as well. So you can access your course online or you can read through the materials. But all of it, it underpins the program and allows students to become more and more successful as they get on through, because it includes a mixture of multiple choice exams, performance testing, essays, and things like that. So the personal study plan overall allows you to go ahead and become successful with your bar exam. You can be confident of that. Now, as I mentioned, and Chris has mentioned this too, on many stages throughout your career, you might be seeking to distinguish yourself. You might be seeking to expand on your options. So options to work in private practice or in-house. And you might want to expand overall and provide a dual legal qualification and walk into international law, where you can provide, British law, or you can provide US law services to your clients. A lot of students want to do that right now because it does strengthen their options and opportunities going forward. So if these are the reasons why you want to do it, I would definitely say go ahead. But one of the key things that I love about Barbary is that it allows you to stand out from your peers, because it empowers all students to decide when they want to study, how they want to study, and how often. And I think when you are currently working within a law firm, or you're a senior within a law firm, you are seeking a lot more autonomy. You want to, study as and when you choose. Now, the majority of students that embark upon this program, their first question is, do I qualify? And there are certain states where they allow non-US or foreign qualified educated law graduates as well to come on board. Now, with New York, that is pretty much open to all who have completed a 3-year or a 4-year full-time common law degree. So if you studied on campus and you're definitely gone through the entire process on campus full time, then you should be absolutely fine. For those of you who hold a civil law degree, you will need to cure your deficiency and bridge that gap by also holding a US LLM. Now, for many of you, you're already qualified lawyers, and as such, the doors are open to you when it comes to California, because all licensed lawyers in your home jurisdiction are welcome. And if you hold a 1-year LLM as well, if you've done that, a year of studies in the US during that, then you should be absolutely fine too. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter which state you're thinking about. You would need to approach the bar association of your chosen state. So if you're thinking about New York, for instance, your first port of call would be to look at your qualifications. Have you completed a 3 or 4 year full-time on-campus common law degree? If that is the case, then you should be absolutely fine. If you're holding a second class or a first class honors, you should be absolutely fine with that. But again, go ahead, have a look at the New York Bar Association website. They do explicitly detail eligibility, and they, instruct you on all of the documents that are required. Definitely your transcripts are a first port of call, but there's a lot more to it than that. So if you do hold an on-campus common law LLB, please go ahead and have a look. And you would need to confirm your eligibility with the New York Bar Association. Once you have that confirmed, you can then go ahead and complete a 6-month or a 10-month extended US bar prep program with BARBRI Global. Upon completion, you would go ahead, and I'm assuming you'll be successful. You'll pass your bar exam, and you'll have a multi-state professional responsibility exam, which is based on ethics. You'll need to complete that. You'll also have a New York law exam to complete as well. So be mindful of these elements, because it's all a part of the route to practice in New York. And it is detailed on the New York Bar Association website and also on the Barbary Global website too. So have a look at it. All candidates, it's always good to be aware that you will need to file 50 hours of supervised pro bono work. There is a skills-based competency required too. That's for new law graduates. And you will all be required to pass character and fitness. So there's an application and an interview stage, and once completed, you would swear in as a New York attorney. Now that is it in a nutshell, but if you'd like a more intricate detail and you want questions answered, absolutely, please contact AIFC. And they'll be happy to help you with that. Have a look at the Barbary Global website. AIFC actually has a Barbary Global page too, so you can get some more information there. Now, for those of you who are interested in California, it's always good to note that, as I said, if you're a qualified lawyer in your home jurisdiction, you've got a certificate of good standing, you're admitted to practice, you're absolutely fine. Go ahead to the California Bar Association website. You can confirm eligibility there. And then you can go ahead and complete the extended US bar prep program. And as I mentioned, you could do that for 6 months or 10 months. Now, I can see a question from Dinara, very good question. When a candidate for the New York bar exam should take 50 hours of their supervised pro bono work, they can do that either in New York or they can do it outside of New York, as long as it's supervised by a New York attorney who holds active and current membership with the New York Bar Association. They can do that in beautiful Kazakhstan if they wanted to. Yeah. So it's always good to note these things. And again, all of these details are on the Bar Association websites. So have a look, folks. I would definitely do that. And you may find that it's a lot easier than you ever thought. Yeah.
There's another question, Monique, sorry.
Yeah, awesome. I'm loving it. Okay, let's have a look. What about the New York law course, when it shall be passed? It must be done after the New York bar exam is completed, and it's done online. So you can go on back home and you can do it there if you want to. But the New York bar exam itself and the California bar exam itself, that requires attendance in New York or California for 2 days. And I will explain that in just a moment, but absolutely, you can do the New York law exam online and you can do your pro bono work away from New York if you want to, but it's got to be supervised by a New York attorney. Yeah.
I think we missed one more question. It says, how can I confirm eligibility to sit New York bar exam? Could you tell us what kind of requirements should I meet?
Absolutely. Okay, so for the New York bar exam, as I mentioned, you've got to hold a 3 or 4 year common law degree. Okay, that's the first port of call. Now, you confirm eligibility with the New York Bar Association directly. So you would go to the New York Bar exams, sorry, the New York Bar Association website. Yeah, and they've got a lot of links across the top of the screen. And the route to practice, it's all detailed there. Yeah, they've also got a number of links down the side of the screen as well. And I can pop on over to the New York Bar Association website and show you in just a moment. But it's the same across the board with all of them, all of the states. If you are interested in New York, in California, there are other uniform bar exam states as well, like Texas, District of Columbia. But there's a full list, yeah, that gives you all of the requirements, all of the eligibility requirements. And this is offered by the National Conference of Bar Examiners. Yeah. And if you have a look at their website, and I'll click the link in the hope that it will pop on open for us all. Awesome. Okay, great. So the admissions guide is right here. So if you're thinking about, the eligibility requirements for New York, or you want to cross-check and compare with the eligibility requirements for California, have a look at the National Conference of Bar Examiners website. Gives you a lot of detail. Yeah. So I hope that helps. All right. I still have another question. Could you tell us what is the average percentage of passing the New York bar exam and California bar exam? Oh, I love that question. From the first time, second time, and third time, I'm a foreigner. And second, just received an LLM. Okay, so congratulations. I'm assuming your name is Tugan. So I'm just gonna refer to you as Tugan, right? Okay, so for those students who go ahead and commit a good 80%, so they've got to complete 80% of the Barbary Global Extended US Bar Prep course, yeah, 76% of those students pass the bar exam. That would be the New York bar exam, California bar exam, Texas bar exam. It's right across the board. So you would need to devote at least 80% of your time to achieve your goals. But that 76% pass rate, that demonstrates the intensity of the course, the commitment that's required as well. So I hope that helps, Tugan. And congratulations on getting your LLM. Awesome, holding a Master's of Laws. So that should bridge any deficiencies. Let's say you hold a civil law degree. Yeah. If it's a US LLM, then you should be absolutely fine. And you would include that. Yeah, you would include that document when you're going ahead and confirming your eligibility with the New York Bar Association. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete the discussion about the US bar prep overall, because I think some of this information will answer some of your questions. But for a brief moment, I'm also going to pop onto the New York Bar Association website just to give you a little glimpse of it. But if you'd like to have a look for yourselves, you can pop another tab open, yeah, and you'll see details for foreign qualified lawyers. All right. Okay. Awesome. Somebody graduated from the UK university with an LLB 20 years ago. That's a long time. So is it safe to assume that you've been qualified and practicing for these last 20 years, Sania? And if you have been qualified and practicing, then you would qualify for the California bar exam. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure you didn't stop there when you got your LLB. Give us a little bit more information and maybe we could help you with that. All right. But to go back to Tugan's question, the average percentage for passing the New York bar and the California bar is 76% of students who do our program. All right. Now, do we have numbers as to how many Kazakhstanis passed the US bar? Any statistics? Well, unfortunately, we don't have anything to hand at this moment, but absolutely, we could provide you with that information later today. So I will communicate with Idana and get some numbers over to you, if that's all right with you, Absel. Yeah? I'll do that for you today. Okay, awesome. And Dinara, also, could you please tell if I did 50 hours of pro bono, but 3 years ago, would it count? More than likely, yeah. As long as it's signed off, it should count. But you've got to renew your license every year in some countries. In some US states, you've got to renew your license every 2 years. So they might want to see a little bit of pro bono work that's just a little bit more recent than that. You might be on the borderline with that. Yeah. Have a look at the New York Bar Association website. They explicitly detail everything. Yeah. Okay, awesome. All right. I'm loving these questions. Please keep them coming because this definitely is an interactive session, okay? Now, as I mentioned, you could study for 6 months or 10 months. Yeah, so you've got those as options. You are very welcome, Dinara. Now, if you can devote 20 to 25 hours per week to your studies, then I would say go for the 6-month option. If you are able to devote 10 to 15 hours per week, then you might want to think about the 10-month extended option. Either way, they both feed into the bar exam dates in February and July, so you're absolutely fine with that. And you've got the option to study completely online if you want to, or you could have a little taster and get involved with our classroom-based options. Those are available all over the world. Now, as I said, you've got bar exam dates every year between February and July. Those are your options, yeah? And each of the programs, they feed into those bar exam dates. So if you chose a 6-month program, you could start in February or September. If you start the 10-month program, you could, begin in April or September. So that's lots of yeses. You're able to plan out your year. And as I mentioned, you could study 100% online if you want to, but there are classroom-based attendance options in London, in Durham, Dubai, Paris. So if you wanted to spend a couple of weeks, just engaging in a classroom with a lecturer, you could do that too. Now, overall, the course fees are just under 6,000 USD. You're looking at 5,999. But the good thing about working with AIFC, and I'm really, really enjoying it, is that we have Barbary Awards that are available only from AIFC Legal Academy. Just to be clear, there are Barbary Awards available. They allow you a discount on your course fees. So if you'd like to see a big discount, a big reduction on your course fees, please contact the AIFC team. Do it today. Just send them a message and let them know that you intend to enroll, and they'll provide you with your Barbary Award. And it's only available from AIFC. So I'd get involved. I'd definitely get your award today. There are also installment plans available, so you could make payments throughout the course. Makes things easiest for a lot of students. Now, upon enrollment, one of the good things about Barbary is that you get access to your course. So all of the foundations in US law, you can log into ISAC, the online portal. You can watch your lectures, you can do all of that. As soon as you've made a 50% course fee payment, your study materials are shipped out to you. So you will have books that you can refer to. And I find that that's really good. It's really attractive to a lot of candidates who want to study online, but still want textbooks to hand. So that is definitely an option available to you all. But just to reiterate, these programs are designed specifically for international lawyers and law graduates. That means each and every single one of you. You all have a personal study plan tailored to meet your needs. So you log in and you log out as and when you choose. You focus on the areas of the program that you're really interested in, but it's designed to indicate when you're doing well, and it's also designed to indicate where you need to focus a little bit more attention. Your lectures are pre-recorded, so you can watch them over and over again. This allows you to digest the information in full, and you can refer to that going on through the course. So if there's any area that you're not sure about, you can always have that reminder at hand. But rest assured, you've got the top US qualified lawyers who are providing you with the most comprehensive mentorship program I have ever witnessed. And the law faculty those lecturers, they are awesome. They are there to assist you at any point throughout your program. You are always welcome to contact them. Now, I did mention this earlier, but just to reiterate, for those of you who are interested in the US bar prep because you want to become an attorney at law in the United States, you're thinking about New York or California, your attendance will be required in New York or California for 2 days. You can do this on a tourist visa. You won't need a student visa. The bar exams themselves are filled and overflowing with performance testing, with essays, multi-state multiple choice exams, and you have online state-specific course and exams, right? So you've got online state-specific exams like Florida, if you're thinking about Florida. Yeah, have a look at the Bar Association. You might meet the requirements, you might not. Maybe you're thinking about Texas, maybe you're thinking about Massachusetts. Have a look at the Bar Association website. Yeah, and you will see. But the programs that we offer, the US Bar Prep program that we offer is based primarily on you passing these bar exams. So they are overflowing with performance testing and essays and multiple choice questions. And it allows you to walk into your bar exam very confident, very aware, and very well versed. So if you're thinking about doing this, definitely go ahead, because upon successful completion, that's it. You will be called to the bar in New York or California, and you'll be a qualified attorney at law. Now, that's the US bar side of things. But one of the good things about BARBRI Global is that we also offer the Sqe. And I'm really, really happy about this because the solicitor's qualification exam is brand new. It's just been introduced, but BARBRI Global is the only school that I've found that is able to deliver this program with confidence, and our graduates walk away confidently knowing that they are going to go ahead and pass their exams. Now, for those of you who are not quite familiar with the solicitor's qualification exam, or the Sqe as it's known, but it's the new route to practice in England and Wales. It replaces the legal practice course, and it allows students to be called to the role for admission as solicitors. Now, the good thing about the Sqe is that it opens up doors to everyone. Those of you who have a law degree, be it a civil law degree, common law degree, and those of you who don't. You might have a degree in business, it might be in finance. Right now, you might be thinking about crossing over into law. The Sqe is the best way to do it. But before I talk a little bit more, I can see some more questions in the box. So from Absel, if I enroll on the prep course, will I have access to the materials once the course ends? Well, you have your books, right? So you will always have your books. Online access to the course materials, like your lectures and things like that, that remains open all the way up until the day of your exam. So you might be outside the association and getting ready to go on in. You can watch your lecturer again. Now, I can also see, does Barbary provide a prep course to MPRE as well? Absolutely. There's a free option on the website. If you'd like to have a taster of what Barbary has to offer, you can have a look at that if you want to. But that's the US bar side, okay? We're now going to be talking about the Sqe, but keep the questions coming. And for a brief moment after the session, I will answer all questions directly. Yeah, awesome. Now back to the Sqe. Now, as I mentioned, it replaces the legal practice course, and it's the brand new route to practice in England and Wales. Now, it was introduced back in November 2021, so it's brand new. So not everybody knows about it. But as I mentioned, it's available for law and non-law students. So as long as you hold an undergraduate degree at a minimum, or the equivalent to a level 6 qualification at a minimum, then you're absolutely fine. You can go ahead and do the Sqe. Now, one of the good things about the Sqe is that, for me, it looks very much like the US bar prep program. It's split into 2 stages. It's mixed subjects, it's multiple choice, and it's designed to ensure that you have the right skill set to take off and fly, really be successful and offer a dual legal service, be it, US and UK, you could go ahead and do that. But the Barbary Global way is a lot more flexible. You have a lot more options, and I'll tell you more about that now. Now, the Sqe route itself, as I said, it's brand new, so not all of you are aware of this, so it's good to explain things. But as I said, it's split into 2 stages. So you've got stage 1 and stage 2. And then you have qualifying work experience. Another familiar aspect for me was the character and suitability requirements as well, because US bar, right? Exactly the same. But let's start with the qualifying work experience, because I assume that everyone in this room is a professional in some way, shape, or form. You more than likely have work experience over a number of years, but you might want a little bit of good news today, and I want to be the one to offer that. So let's reduce this box and bring it up into the corner so you can all see now. Qualifying work experience. Now, for those of you who are thinking about practicing in England and Wales, you would have been advised about a recognized period of training, formerly known as a training contract. And it was a 2-year requirement, and students were required to do this within a law firm. Now, they had to do it during the LPC or immediately after the LPC. Yeah. Now, what has happened is this has changed, and this requirement now allows students who are doing some work within a legal advice clinic, for instance. Maybe they've done an internship for a period of time, maybe some pro bono work, or maybe as a paralegal. Now, many students, when they're thinking about law, they engage with these experiences, but they don't realize that it's recognized. Now it is. It's absolutely recognized. So if you've done a period of work within a legal advice clinic, for instance, maybe it was an internship for 4 months or 6 months, maybe you have done some pro bono work a few years back, right? Or maybe you've done some paralegal work. All of this can be signed off by a solicitor, so someone that's recognized by the Solicitors Regulation Authority, but it can be signed off outside of the UK. Well, that's good news for many of you. And as long as it can be signed off by a recognized solicitor who is able to review and offer feedback on that student's work, you're absolutely fine. Yeah. Now, foreign qualified lawyers. So for those of you, across Kazakhstan right now, you're exempt. You don't need to do qualifying work experience. But pop onto the Solicitors Regulation Authority website, SRA website. They will let you know if you're exempt from any other area of the Sqe. Now, as I mentioned, the Sqe itself, it's split into 2 stages. Yeah, so you've got Sqe 1, and that's filled with mixed subject, multiple choice questions. It's a 2-day exam. Yeah, it's overflowing. 360 question exam, and it's all computer based. Now, the fee for this exam is payable to the SRA, the Solicitors Regulation Authority, and it's approximately £1,500. So it's always good to note that. That's payable directly to the SRA, okay? Now, for those of you who have never studied law, but you hold an undergraduate degree, I'm telling you, you are absolutely welcome, because the Sqe 1 exam itself is filled with the 7 pillars of legal knowledge, foundational areas of law, and more. So for those of you who have never studied law before, you will be introduced to and given the opportunity to gain a comprehensive understanding of British law, be it the legal system of England and Wales, be it constitutional and administrative law and EU law, maybe it's criminal law and practice. All of these subjects are tested within the Sqe 1, and as such, the Barbary Global Sqe Prep encompasses all of it. This is a really good thing, and we've reaped the benefits of this quite recently, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. But for those of you who are thinking about the Sqe route, your next step would then be the Sqe 2. And again, you would do that with the Solicitors Regulation Authority. And the fee payable for that is £2,422. Now, what I love the most about the SQE 1 and 2 is that it's tested at a much higher level than what would be traditionally known as an LLB, qualifying law degree, or a legal practice course, but it has all of the same elements. Now, you will be tested at a higher level when it comes to client interviewing, advocacy, case analysis, all of the things that make a lawyer in England and Wales. And it's available after you've passed your SQE 1. But if you're a qualified lawyer, right, and you've got an LLB, a qualifying law degree with a UK university, you might find that there are areas that you are exempt and not required to complete. So have a look at the SRA website, as I mentioned, okay? Now, is the Sqe right for you? Well, this is the good news for all involved in this session today and for all students across Europe, Asia, absolutely everyone with an undergraduate degree. It's right for you. If you want to go ahead and practice law in England and Wales, it's absolutely right for you. If you've got a second class or a first class honours, it's perfect for you. If you studied at a UK university, absolutely spot on, you can go ahead. But if you've studied at an international school, again, you can go ahead and do it. So there's lots of yeses for lots of students across the globe. And right now, a lot of them are weighing up their options and they're saying, okay, should I do the legal practice course or should I do the solicitor's qualification exam? Well, for those of you who are at that point, it would be good to note a couple of things. If you're thinking about the legal practice course, which is the old route, it's being phased out. But if you're looking at it, think about it from this perspective. Number one, you are subject to the training contract requirement. It may continue, but it's going to be phased out by 2032. So there's going to be further reductions in the availability of training spots. That means there's going to be less and less opportunities for you. The costs are also significantly higher. If you want to do the LPC outside of London, you're looking at about £11,000. If you want to do it in London on campus, you're looking at £17,500. Even if you do it online, it's still about the same. Plus the exam fees and your living costs and your flights, not to mention accommodation. It's a massive commitment. If you're thinking about the SQE, the good thing about Barbary Global is that we are offering the SQE 1 for £3,000. And if you do the SQE 1 with us, then you get to do the SQE 2 for £3,000 as well. But if you contact AIFC, you get a Barbary award on your SQE 1. So it's even less than that. You've got those exam fees that I mentioned as well, which are approximately £4,000. So ultimately, if you do the SQE route with Barbary Global, you're looking at about £10,000, which is pretty cool, right? There's a lot more options as well because you've got qualifying work experience. You're not subject to a training contract. So the work you've done now is recognized. You've got the opportunity to earn while you learn. So as you go on, you can spread your studies out across a longer period if you want to, or you can finish a lot more sooner. I think these are good things. Yeah, I can see a question. Let's see. Does AIFC provide any discounts for SQE 2 from Barbary? I believe that there are discounts available across the board. Contact AIFC. They'll tell you more about it. We've got Barbary Awards and there's lots of other discounts like early birds and grad giveaways and things like that. So there are always opportunities to reduce your course fees. I'm going to have some more good news for you about that in a moment. Yeah, give me one more moment. All right. I can see another question come up. Oh, would it be possible to pass SQE 1 and or SQE 2 within AIFC Academy of Law in Kazakhstan? Well, Nur Sultan, I would like that. That would be a good thing, right? At this point, no. But you never know what might happen in the future. Now, the reason being is that there is no attendance required for the SQE 1 outside of Pearson's or Kaplan, because they're the ones who actually proctor the exam for the SRA. Now, you can find a local Pearson View Center, yeah, or Kaplan Center, and you can do it that way. With the SQE2, again, you can do it online for the first half, but the second half, that actually requires attendance in England. Yeah, either London or Manchester or Cardiff even. All right, so have a look at the Solicitors Regulation Authority website for the places that you could do your SQE1 and SQE2, and keep an eye on AIFC because you just never know. You never know. Now, is there a list of requirements compliance from which renders you a qualified, foreign qualified lawyer for the QWE requirements purposes? Absolutely, yeah. You've got to be recognized as a foreign qualified lawyer by the SRA. So pop onto the SRA website. They've got a whole web page detailing all of the countries to which they recognize persons as foreign qualified lawyers for QWE. Yeah, have a look. You'd be happily surprised to see how many countries are on the list. Now, why choose Barbary? Well, this is a really good question. And as I mentioned before, it's about confidence. You've got to have confidence in your provider. Now it's brand new. Remember, the SQE only started in November of last year. So all of the schools across England and Wales have only just begun to offer it. But we've got a few numbers of interest, statistics that might be interesting to you all. Now, all of those students who started in November 2021, approximately 1,090 in total did the SQE1 with all of the providers across England. Just over 300 of those students, they did it with Barbary. So they did the Barbary SQE prep, and then they went ahead and did the exam. 77% of those students went ahead and passed their SQE1, which is a higher pass rate than the US bar exam students. Now, this is really, really good news. A lot of students are going to be very, very happy about that. They're going to feel confident in knowing that they can pass their exam, right? This is good news. I see another question. I'm an individual who has an LPC certificate and successfully completed a training contract. Will the individual still be required to undertake the SQE? Not in its entirety, no. They will be asked to maybe do the SQE2 if they want to do that, but it depends on the year that the student qualified with their LPC. So let's say they've just qualified with their LPC. They won't need to take the SQE route. They'll be exempt. Yeah, but maybe they did their LPC a long time ago, right? And they want to brush up on their skills. Then they'll be exempt from areas of the SQE, but they'll still be required to more than likely do SQE2. Now, to receive further guidance about this, go to the Solicitors Regulation Authority website. They have a website just for the SQE. To receive your Barbary Award code, please contact AIFC Academy of Law. Yeah, you'll find their email address in the chat box. Now, back to the statistics, 77%. That is our pass rate for the SQE1. It's a limited view because, as I mentioned, you've got SQE1 and SQE2. But as you can see, the national average for the pass rate for the SQE1 was only 53%. That means we stand out head and shoulders above all other providers across England and Wales. We are number one when it comes to the SQE. So if you'd like to study with confidence in knowing that you're going to pass your exam, I would say these numbers speak to you all. For me personally, I'm very, very excited about the fact that 83% of candidates reported that they were happy with the number of workshops. The personal study plan also got a 4.6, which is pretty good. It demonstrates that the program was offered seamlessly. There were no issues. That's a transparent number. It definitely demonstrates how well we do things here at Barbary, right? So another thing that I thought was really important to note for you all today is that everything that's available on the US Bar Prep program to those students is available on the SQE Prep program. So you all have access to a personal study plan. You all have access to your materials online and your hard copy books. you all have a one-to-one personal learning coach. The lecturers as well, they're all British. So you get a touch of that British culture, right? And it's designed to ensure that you pass a multiple choice exam. So you get that expertise. Now, it's designed for everyone. So for all of you within this room, if you're a law graduate, a non-law graduate, or a qualified lawyer, it's a massive yes. There's no real reason to delay. If you've got full or part-time commitments, we have a number of different programs designed to meet your needs. So again, that's a massive yes. But I like the yes that came from the students because their testimonials speak to you. They are impressed by the preparation, the availability of the tutors, the study guides are straight to the point. Yeah, all of these things are immensely important to students who have prior commitments, who are also, running a law firm or as a senior partner within a law firm. You want to ensure that you're happy as you're studying so you can really engage with the program. Now, I mentioned earlier, but here's the good news, right? You've got different options available. You could study for 40 weeks or 20 weeks or 10 weeks. You could start now or you could start next month, because with Barbary Global's Sqe start dates, they roll on, every couple of months, there's another start date. And it's designed to meet specific needs. So if you're a non-law graduate, you can rest assured that 77% pass rate, that included non-law graduates, was actually a 50-50 split. So if you really want to immerse yourself and really, go for it, you could go with the 40-week. For those of you who are law graduates from a UK uni, you might be more inclined to go with the 20-week. For those of you who just graduated your LLB, you could do an accelerated 10-week course. Really, really good news, right? For those of you who are qualified in your home jurisdiction, you've got an LPC maybe, you might find that you're exempt from Sqe 1. So again, look at the SRA website. But the good news for you is that if you are exempt from Sqe 1, you only have to do Sqe 2, and you could do it within 12 weeks. Do you see there lots of start dates again? So that's a massive yes to you all as well. Now, I mentioned it earlier, but I've got to reiterate the Sqe 1 prep course fee that is available, the Sqe 1 prep available from us is £2,999. It's one of the lowest course fees available in England and Wales for this program. And the brilliant thing is that you could get a really good Barbary award from AIFC. So please contact the team today, right now, to get that. We've also got other scholarships and installment plans, which speaks to my last question. But good news, folks, Sqe 2 prep, that's £3,499. Now, remember, this is for those of you who go straight into the Sqe 2. For those of you who've completed the Sqe 1 with Barbary Global, you'll get the Sqe 2 for £3,000. It's a £500 alumni discount that's available with that. All right, so that speaks to some of the discounts. Absolutely, there are installment options available across both sides of the fence. So whether you go with the Sqe 1 or 2, you've got installment options available. Now, get your Barbary Award from AIFC. Please do that. That's a really easy way to see a reduction on your course fees. Another really awesome way is to get involved with the scholarships. So there are scholarships available to those who hold a first-class honors, those who are thinking about becoming an agent for change, those who are interested in not-for-profit work and charity work. There are scholarships designed for lots of different types of students who have different interests. So that's good news for you. For those of you who want to get involved with Barbary Bridges, it's awesome. It's absolutely brilliant. It's an initiative designed to reduce barriers to entry and strengthen diversity in the legal sector. And we're talking about globally here. So there's lots of different ways that you can engage with Barbary Global. I'm very much into equality and diversity. And there's lots of different ways that you can get involved, lots of different activities available, workshops, seminars, webinars, lots of different things happening. There's also careers and employability services available to you all, would be good to note. Yeah, so that's another thing that I love about Barbary Bridges. So the question to you all today is, are you ready to enroll? Whether it be the US Bar Prep or the Sqe. If it's the Sqe, you're more than likely ready. If you've got your transcripts available to you, yeah, you've got an undergraduate degree, you are ready. You can enroll today and you will find AIFC on the enrollment form. So make sure you state how you heard about us. But ultimately, it's up to you. Yeah. Now, you will be joining 1.3 million alumni based across the world. And it's up to you how you want to do it, when you want to do it, and where you want to study. You're all welcome to join the group consultations that I offer every month. If you've got more intricate questions, you are also welcome to contact AIFC directly, and I would definitely welcome you all to do that as soon as possible. But for now, what I'd like to do is ensure that you've got any questions to hand today addressed. So are there any questions? And if you'd like to, you can pop yourself off mute, you can speak, or you can type it into the chat box. But what I would state is that you're definitely welcome to enroll today. Contact AIFC so you can get more information and your Barbary Award. And we'll be happy to support you right the way through your journey with us. Now, are there any questions? Any at all? Idana, have you been receiving questions directly from students?
Hello. Yes, I received one question about the Barbary code, the word code, how much it is, how much can we offer? So if you can tell it about it. So.
Okay, so for those who work directly with the AIFC team, so you're an organization, maybe you're an employee as well, yeah, you're a stakeholder or an official partner to AIFC, you're looking at, I think, a 15% discount. For those of you who don't hold a direct affiliation, but you're definitely involved with AIFC and you would like a discount, you could get a 5% reduction. We've also got grad giveaways that gives you a £450 reduction. That's for those of you thinking about the Sqe. We've got early bird awards of $500 US. That's if you're thinking about the US bar. There are lots and lots and lots of discounts available, all from AIFC. And all you will need to do is contact Idana. Yeah, do it today, and you'll be absolutely fine to proceed from there. You can also contact me directly at monique.morrison@barbary.com. Just mention AIFC so I know who you are and where you're coming from, and I'll be happy to connect you with the team and to answer any other questions that you may have. Now, as I mentioned, it's monique.morrison, but just for clarity, I'll pop it into the chat box. And I think we have come to the end of our time together.
Yeah,
what do you think? Yeah.
Thank you so much for this amazing presentation. And
Wow.
thank you to Chris also for the informative and interesting talk on how to become an international lawyer and for your, and I also would like to thank our audience for active participation. And I just want to ask if there are any other questions to Monique.
Any questions at all? Well, what I've done is I've shared my email address with you all. So you're definitely welcome to contact me. I would say get in touch with Idana so you can get your Barbary Award and further information about your programs. But if you are interested in enrolling with us, I did mention that I would take you to the New York Bar Association website, but I think we're out of time for that today. So what I would suggest is that you join us for the group consultation session, where we are having students from all over the world in attendance. We're going to be doing an enrollment session. So if you'd like to get involved and you'd like to enroll, I'll be taking you through that process there and then. All right. Adil, for the California bar attendance costs, it's approximately $200 US. But for the finer details, absolutely contact AIFC. Okay, I
Great.
think we're good to go. All right,
Thank you so
Adana.
much. And then I think we can end today's event. Thank you so much for your presentation today, Monique. I think it
You're
was
very
really
welcome.
informative. Yeah, I agree with everyone. I hope that the event was beneficial for everybody. And I think that you will contact us soon and then, get your Barbary Award codes and then qualify as US or England
Oh,
solicitor,
yes.
right?
Mm,
Okay, so thank you for everyone.
you
Have a
too.
nice evening, have a nice weekend. So I'm gonna upload this session on YouTube channel of the AIFC Academy of Law. So I think anyone can just rewatch it later on.
I
So
will.
yeah, have a nice day. Bye all.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you again.